First, we'd like to call to order today's meeting. Call to order the February 6th, 2024 Greater Dayton RTA Board of Trustees meeting. All please rise if you're able for a pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And Ms. Stanforth, may we have the roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Wilkin.
Here.
Ms. White. Mr. Fulenkamp.
Here.
Ms. Harrison.
Present.
Ms. Matthews Simpson.
Present.
Ms. Miller.
Present.
Mr. Mullins.
Here.
Mr. Wackerson.
Here.
Mr. Williams.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stanforth. We can declare quorum so we can conduct regular business. Greater Dayton RTA by laws require the Board of Trustees approve today's board meeting agenda. Without any corrections or additions to the agenda, I will entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
And properly moved and second that the agenda be approved as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. The meeting minutes for the November 9th meeting were provided to everyone. If anyone requests a reading of the minutes, or are there any corrections or anything to the meeting minutes? Hearing none, upon hearing no requests to change, I will declare the approval of the November 9th, 2023 board meeting minutes. Also, we had a special meeting on November 21st that everyone received the minutes for that as well. Is there a request for those meeting minutes to be read, or are there any corrections to the meeting minutes? Hearing none, I will declare those meeting minutes approved as presented. We will now move on to committee reports. Ms. Matthews Stinson.
Thank you very much. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees held a meeting on January 16th, and as a result, the Finance Personnel Committee is recommending 4 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 2, engine oil. The purpose of this procurement is to purchase engine oil for the diesel, bus fleet, and non-revenue diesel vehicles for Greater Dayton RTA. This procurement supports our core values of quality service and good stewardship of RTA's financial resources by ensuring that our fleet is well maintained and available for service. Vendors were required to base their bids on the estimated quantity of 7,764 gallons of engine oil per year. The total cost per year determines the lowest bidder. Mr. Brown presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions that the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve a contract award to Hawkins Bailey Warehouse for engine oil with an estimated amount of $69,333 for the base year and $69,333 for the option year, for a grand total of $138,666. Actual costs will vary based on the number of gallons purchased.
Second.
Been properly moved and second that action item number 2 be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any abstentions? Action item number 2 is approved.
Thank you very much. Action item number 3, diesel exhaust fluid. The purpose of this procurement is to purchase diesel exhaust fluid for the diesel, bus fleet and non-revenue diesel vehicles for Greater Dayton RTA. This procurement supports our core values of quality service and good stewardship of RTA's financial resources by ensuring that our fleet is well-maintained and available for service. Vendors were required to base their bids on the estimated quantity of 33,000 gallons of diesel exhaust fluid per year. The total cost per year determines the lowest bidder. Mr. Brown presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve a contract award to Petro Choice LLC for diesel exhaust fluid with an estimated award amount of $54,450 for the base year and $57,750 and $61,050 for the option years 1 and 2 respectively, for a grand total of $173,250. Actual costs will vary based on the number of gallons purchased.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that action item number 3, diesel exhaust fluid, be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Action item number 3 is approved.
Thank you very much. Action item number 4, bus garage post-tension floor additional work. In April 2023, Board Trustees approved a contract award to CPS Construction Group, Inc. for bus garage post-tension floor repair. At this time, an additional $14,770 is needed for additional required work, which was not in the original scope of work but was discovered during the project. There were also additional construction costs incurred during the project's original scope, which amounted to approximately $18,000. A $10,000 contingency is also being requested for any future unforeseen issues that could arise with this additional work. Mr. Brown presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Hearing none, based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move that the Board of Trustees approve an additional contract award to CPS Construction Group, Inc. for bus garage post-tension floor. Additional work in the amount of $32,770 plus the $10,000 contingency for a total award of $42,770, which brings the total project cost to $184,855.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded that action item number 4, bus garage post-tension floor additional work, be approved. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Action item number 4 is approved.
Thank you very much. Action item number 5, 601 Longworth Vehicle Exhaust Extraction System. The purpose of this procurement is to select a firm to partner with RTA for the installation of a vehicle exhaust extraction system in the 601 Longworth Street garage. The garage is currently equipped with a built-in exhaust system that removes fumes from running vehicles. However, in the maintenance bays, these systems are added to capture the vehicle exhaust for prolonged idling periods. This system will support the AC shop that is being moved from its current location to 601 Longworth Street garage. This procurement supports RTA's core value of safety for our employees by continuously improving our facilities to ensure they are free from harmful chemicals and have a healthy and safe work environment. Mr. Smith presented this action item at our meeting, and the supporting information is included in today's board package. Staff is available to answer any questions the board may have at this time. Do I have a second?
Second.
I put the motion on the floor first. We have to put the motion on the floor.
Based upon the recommendation of the Finance Personnel Committee, I move the Board of Trustees approve a contract award to J. Feldkamp Design Build for the installation of the V system in the 601 Longworth Garage in the amount of $124,400 plus a contingency of $12,440 for any unknown cost totaling $136,840.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second that action item number 5, Longworth Vehicle Exhaust Extraction System, be approved. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Action item number 5 is approved.
Thank you very much. I guess I was very excited about that action items. Other items to mention, the November 2023 financial report, as well as small purchases information, has been included in today's board package. Mr. Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Matthews Stinson. We will move on now to Planning Committee. Mr. Wexler.
Thank you. The Finance, Personnel, and Planning Committees met for a jointly held meeting on January 16th, and we do not have any action items to bring before you. At the meeting, Mr. Braden Palachicchio provided a summary document of recent activities going on in the Customer and Business Development Department. Mr. Palachicchio shared that ridership continues to improve. In 2023, ridership was up 19% from the prior year. He explained that this was due to service improvements made over the last year, including expanding other services to meet the changing needs of RTA customers across Montgomery County. Overall, RTA continues to meet or exceed national trends in ridership. That concludes my update, and I'm available if there are any additional questions.
Any questions for Mr. Wexler? Hearing none, we will move on now to the Chief Executive Officer's report. Mr. Rosinski.
Thank you. I have 2 updates, and we're going to try to use the screen a little bit. I wanted to give you an update on the Connect buses that we purchased, I think 2.5 years ago, and we received them last spring, but we had been storing them until we got the most possible miles out of the older fleet, which we feel like we've hit that limit, so we're starting to put these into service. Just to put a frame of reference, the small picture is our current bus, and the larger picture is the new bus. As you can see, they are essentially the same vehicle. There's only a couple of manufacturers left after mergers and acquisitions over the years, and they produce basically the same vehicle on a Ford chassis, which is good for our maintenance team. So we did start rolling these out last week, and over the weekend I did get some customer inquiries. Both of the inquiries claimed that these buses were dramatically smaller, did not meet disability requirements, and were discriminatory. So I just want to set the record straight that none of that is in fact the case. As I said before, they're essentially the same bus as those they're replacing and used by systems across the country, and they meet all federal requirements. In fact, these are slightly better. The main door opening is actually 5 inches wider at 32 inches versus 27, which will help with some of our larger passengers. The aisleway is 1 inch wider. That is because the vehicle itself, the passenger area, is 1 inch wider and 5 inches longer than the current bus. The seating capacity is the same. The seats are the same. They have slightly more legroom, just based on the new placement and the bus being just a tad bit longer. The wheelchair capacity is the same, and the storage is very similar. The new fleet is being placed in the service at a rate of 3 to 6 buses a week as we can install the new cameras, radios, and equipment. We're basically transferring a lot of that from the older fleet and putting it into the new fleet. That's why we're doing a phased-in approach. We have 75 of these in total, and we will keep 20 of the older buses as long as they keep running. As a contingency fleet, as these buses are actually very challenging to obtain right now. There's about a 2 to 3 year wait if you were to order today. Connect is one of our faster growing services, so we want to make sure we have some spares just in case. Okay, so I just wanted everybody to make sure they knew the facts in case you get asked out there or you hear otherwise. The next update I want to give you is on something we talked about last fall, our staffing for bus operators. So I'm happy to say that as of the last week of January, we are up to 250 CDL drivers, which that matches the number of the drivers that we're committed to maintaining in our contract. This time last year, we had 199. So our hiring really improved. It was a big jump in the last quarter. It was gradually through the year, but a big jump in the last quarter. 226 of those are certified to drive. Of those 226, 217 are available and 9 are on long-term absence. A little improvement over last year where we had 13 on long-term absence at this time. We have currently 24 in training, which would get us then to the 250. So once these operators complete their training, they usually go on what's called the extra board, and we've talked about that before. Those are the drivers that are available to handle call-ins or extra routes we need or extra training needs, and that's exactly what we're using them for. In the Connect fleet, we have 95 Connect drivers, which actually matches the commitment in the contract to maintain. 95 of those are available. We have no long-term absences and 0 in training. So that's pretty exciting. As far as fixed route runs, in January of '24, we started the most recent pick that we talked about last fall. There are 157 picked runs versus 132 picked runs in January of last year. So you can see we're already putting some of these new drivers to use. We had 19 average daily absences for the last week of January versus 13 last year. 5 were scheduled, 14 were unscheduled. I will note that January attendance, and especially attendance at the beginning of a pick, is usually the best of the attendances. So we will expect this to get a little bit worse, although it is better than it was last year in general, based on percentages. We are right now using 21 extra daily trips, and what those are is if we have to send out buses for overloads, and most of these are related to the school services. So we try to get the students out of downtown as quickly as possible, so we have the drivers on the extra board to do that when we need that to happen. The average pay hours for this pick was 9.12 versus 10.48 from last year at this time. And we heard lots of complaints about people being overworked, so you can see we've brought those hours down quite a bit. We've got a little bit more to go, and I'll talk about that on the next slide. So our goals for '24, as more CDL drivers complete their training, we will use them on the board to be able to provide FTA-required training to all our current operators. That's often challenging to do because you don't want to pull a route from service to train someone, so we'll have the flexibility to do that. At least until the next pick, assuming that most of these employees stay with us. And our retention rate is actually very good right now. For the June service pick, we hope to add the West County Circulator service we've been talking about, and improve service on some other routes. And we'll also work to bring the average pay hours down to 8.5, which is what it was in January of 2022. So it is estimated that that'll take about 20 or so more picked runs. So we'll have to base that on our retention at the time, but I think we'll be okay to pull this off. So we're currently studying past attrition rates and projected retirements to have the bus operator hiring going forward match our future need projections. Of course, you can never tell. You know, we never thought COVID would hit and, you know, we would have a exodus of drivers, but we're back to where we were and we feel we're in good shape. And that is all I have for today.
Thank you, Mr. Rosinski. Moving right along on the agenda, do we have any old business to attend to? Don't think so. Do we have any new business that we need to attend to?
We do not.
So we'll move on to all of our favorite, the public comment. Anyone who wishes to address the board must speak on their own behalf. After you are recognized to speak, you must come to the lectern. If you're physically unable to do so, a handheld microphone will be brought to you. You must first state your name and address, and after doing so, you'll have 3 minutes to make your comments. A yellow light will come on when you have 30 seconds remaining, and Ms. Garner will say 30 seconds. When your 3 minutes is up, the red light will come on, and Ms. Garner will say stop, and at that time, you must stop talking and leave the lectern or surrender the microphone. After comments are made, the chair thanks everyone. Well, after the comments are made, I'll thank you guys. I'm just going to let you know up front, I'm going to thank you for your comments. First, up we have George Rushelin. Did I say that correctly, sir?
Yes. Do you have a copy of my December letter in your iPad or files or whatever?
There is, it
I
says to
can
make
give you
reference
this.
to it,
I
but,
got 2 copies.
okay. Thank you, sir.
My name is George Rushlow. I live at 1884 North Longview Street in Beaver Creek. And I'm only going to talk about a few of the 8-9 subjects which I addressed on my letter of December. First, on your Bus Connect system, you have, I think, 4 areas: southwest, west, northwest, and northeast. I think you guys are forgetting the southeast area of the Miami Valley or Dayton area, which is like Centerville, Bellbrook, and the Green area for the Bus Connect program. Second, I did address to have a shelter on route number 1 on the westbound at near RD's, which is across from Signal Hill. And I requested a shelter and trash receptacle because it's really messy there all the time. Third, the no smoking policy on RTA facilities and bus. That's still a problem ongoing. And then last would be the RTA map, which is an example here. Are you guys going to update it sometime in the future? And that's about it. And if you guys got any questions, I'm ready to answer any questions. As far as the shelter, are you have made any decision if you're going to build one or not at that location?
We have a shelter policy that requires a certain number of passenger boardings before we'll consider putting a shelter somewhere. I'm not in receipt of your letter from December 18th, so I'm sure John will provide me with a copy, and I'll answer your questions specifically. But in general, we're not doing any shelters right now because the federal government has made it very difficult for us to do
What
that.
about putting a temporary bench?
Yeah,
trash?
that we can look into for sure. But once I get a copy of your letter, I'll address those and get back with you personally. Okay?
And then, is there anything else?
I'll need to actually see your letter and read it first, but we
Oh,
will
okay.
get back with you right
You can
away.
keep that copy because I got 2 copies. I got mine and the one I just gave.
Okay, yeah,
We'll
if
make
you
sure
mailed
it's
that, it
filed.
didn't make it to my desk, so I'm
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
We'll make sure it does.
Actually, I dropped it off in person downstairs at the,
Okay, it just
Accepted,
didn't make it to the right person yet, so we'll make sure it
then,
gets here.
yeah, I just forgot, before I leave, as far as the Montgomery County Fair, you guys gonna have a bus number or route that indicates which one is close to their entrance, at the new location there?
I'll add that to your list of questions and I'll check into that for you.
Okay, and that's about it, and thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Kevin Frazier.
Good afternoon, board, and Happy New Year to you all. Glad to see you all back. My name is Kevin Frazier. I reside at 555 Recess Drive, Dayton, Ohio. Here to discuss once again, I know you guys heard it a lot, not only from me, but from a lot of the seniors, or a number of the seniors that used to ride Senior Ride. And I have a stronger interest in it now because I just recently moved my father, who's a senior, in with me. So I'm here to ask that you please reconsider establishing senior ride. I'm not dealing with finances in RTA, so I can't tell you. I think you probably could tell me better what you can afford and what you can't afford. But from looking at the situation, and I'm so glad to see that the graph that Mr. Rosinski showed, because I can concur basically with the numbers. Driver numbers are up, routes are up, runs are down. Everybody's not happy about that, but the number of hours worked are down. So in looking at that, there is an overflow. Every day in RTA, I am witnessing probably 3 days out of the week of a major number of operators that are not getting any work. And from the comments that were made about increasing routes, I am really proud to hear that, because a lot of my members do not prefer to sit and be paid. They prefer to drive. Besides that, it can increase their salaries, their hourly rate, not the hourly rate, but their paychecks, weekly paychecks, and their contributions to their retirement system. So I'm asking that you please consider adding senior ride would help, because it was a route that was really a necessity in my mind. I actually drove that route, and a lot of these seniors really did appreciate that route. And we're talking about senior citizens of Dayton, Ohio, ladies and gentlemen, and I think it's worthy of this company to put it back. It appears that it can be afforded when we can have drivers sit and be paid on an average of 3 days a week sitting. Once again, I do have one other statement, and this is addressed to Mr. Rosinski. I am not understanding why every call that I'm making to RTA, regardless to whether it's the dispatch for a phone number for one of my members, or me contacting Human Resources, who has a director in that department, but all my calls are being directed to a labor relations officer, who I give a lot of credit to because he's pretty good at his job. But I do not understand for the life of me how I have to be directed to him when I'm dealing with an issue pertaining to human resources. So please ask that you address that. I can't get my arms around it. Every call, every issue that I place at RTA, requests I put into RTA, stemming from a basic phone call for a member's number, is sent to a labor relations officer. I just so happen to be the president. Please give me that respect. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Frazier. So we'll move on now to board member comments or announcements. And we'll start down here with Ms. Miller.
I have none.
No comment today.
No comment.
None for me.
None here.
No comment.
No comment.
All right, no comments, except for me. I want to say Happy Black History Month. It's a favorite month in our house because we're black, and my son was born in February, so he said he was born in the best month of the year because it's Black History Month.
And Mr. Lumpkin, if you haven't seen it yet, we are featuring some black-owned businesses that Nicole helped us vet throughout the Montgomery County area that are on our service routes. So we'll be featuring those, a different one, I think, each week throughout the month.
And thank you, Ms. Miller, for that. That is something that we definitely need to do, is to showcase some of our black-owned businesses in the region. Now, moving on, is there a request for executive session?
I do not have one.
All right, so at this time, our next board meeting will be on March 5th at 3 p.m. Next committee meeting will be on the 20th. And I will now entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and second that we adjourn today's meeting. I know everyone's in favor. Is there anyone that objects? Are there any abstentions? We are now adjourned. Thank you, everyone.